Hi guys, welcome to CNB. I am Siddharth Vinayak Patnankar. Thank you for joining us. Now, December is usually a time of the year when the auto industry completely unwinds and almost goes into hibernation for winter. Not quite the case this time. Lots of action, lots of launches and unveils, and we're going to start off by showing you all of that. First up, it's the EV from Tata Motors everybody's waiting for. Our first look at the Nexon EV.
Tata Motors has unveiled its first passenger electric car today, the Nexon EV. It is the electric version of the company's popular subcompact SUV, and this comes with the company's all-new electric powertrain technology, Ziptron, and is claimed to offer a range of 300 plus kilometers on a single charge. The Nexon EV is powered by a 30.2 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery, which comes with water-cooled technology, permanent magnet AC motor. It is IP67 certified, which means it is both dust and water resistant, and it offers a peak power of 127 bhp and a torque of 245 Newton meters. The motor can propel the car from 0 to 100 in under 10 seconds. Visually, the Nexon EV comes with several cosmetic updates compared to the regular model, particularly this new face, which includes this new glossy black panel on the grille, along with sharper headlamps with projector lights and LED DRLs, and new bumper which also gets bigger plastic cladding and a new fog lamps. The car also gets bigger 16-inch alloy wheels. Inside, the Nexon EV is pretty much similar to the regular Nexon, but what's new here are these new blue accents along the aircon vents and the center console, and these new white upholstery with this new pattern. The car gets a similar 7-inch touchscreen display with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but you also get a new instrument cluster which gives you details regarding the battery capacity, range and other details. The top-end variant of the Nexon EV also gets this electric sunroof. The new Tata Nexon EV comes in 3 variants: XM, XZ Plus and XZ Plus Luxury, and bookings for it are open from December 20th for a token of 21,000 rupees. The new Tata Nexon EV will be priced between 15 to 17 lakh rupees and is expected to be launched in early 2020.
I think this was one of the important milestones for us, and today we are very proud to unveil the Nexon EV, which is India's own electric SUV, as we call it, because this has been completely designed for India, and this is completely made in India, end to end. Today we have unveiled the car to just showcase the look and feel of the car, and also try to get the bookings for the car. In the next coming months, we have already declared in the past that in Q4 we intend to bring this car to the market, and we'll stick to that. But it would be in the early part of Q4 is what I can indicate.
The sea and the sand provide a perfect setting and create an aura around the car we are trying to tell you all about. Well, yes, this is the Hyundai Aura. It is the company's subcompact sedan, replaces the Accent in the company's lineup. And while some of you might already think that up front it looks like the Nios, there are a few changes that Hyundai India has made. So let's kickstart with that. Right up front you have this nice glossy looking front grille. Then there are these swept back LED lamps that you get, headlamps of course, the projector fog lamps too on offer. Now the big change that you see here is of course the LED DRLs. Now we've seen these boomerang shaped LED DRLs even on the Nios, but here you get twin LED DRLs on the Aura, and of course that's the biggest differentiator when it comes to the Aura and the Grand i10 Neos. But let's get to the side and get to know a little more about the car. Now, of course, this is a subcompact sedan, so yes, the overall length is under 4 meters. And if you look at the way it has been designed, it is completely new and refreshing. It gets 15-inch alloy wheels, a diamond cut alloy wheels at that. But the big difference here is the amount of muscle that you see on both the front and the rear. So a lot of lines that accumulate into making it a bit more muscular. Of course, the big change is the way the roof slopes in. Now that's very coupe-like and very different in terms of Hyundai's, basically the way they look. The big change then here is this completely blacked out garnish that the C-pillar gets, and adds a bit of a change in probably the design, and it looks different for sure. Now if you look at it from the front, you'll notice that you think because of this black it ends there, and so it looks compact, very compact in fact, and in fact it looks more like a hatchback. But it's only when you come to the side that you realize there's more in it. There's a lot of boot there as well. So the overall design remains pretty nice and pretty good to look at even from the side. But how is it at the rear? Now you might think that Hyundai is playing it safe, especially when it comes to the rear design, but it hasn't. All the new cars from Hyundai that you've seen, right from the Sonata to even the Verna that we see now, everyone will get this nice connected bit, and the Aura is the first car in India to get that. So nice C-shaped LED tail lamps and that nice chrome connection between both of them. And it adds to a bit of the design, of course, but still it's different. I mean, I'm not really sure if I like it yet, but this is the first car that gets that nice chrome connection, and of course the big Aura badge, which now we've seen in each of the company's model. Now the big difference here in terms of design is this bumper at the rear, and of course you get a lot of features too in the car. But overall it's compact. Of course it's subcompact, but it's compact and pretty good looking too. But we'll have to wait and see what it looks from the inside, because all the black taping that you see from the outside, we cannot see the interiors today, but we will get to see it very soon when it's launched in January 2020.
The Aura will be available in 2 petrol and 1 diesel engine option. There's a 1.2 litre petrol making 82 brake horsepower and 114 Newton meters of torque. The 1.2 litre diesel makes 74 brake horsepower and 190 Newton meters of torque. Both the 1.2 litre petrol and diesel are mated to a 5-speed manual transmission or an AMT. The more powerful 1 litre turbo engine makes 99 brake horsepower and 172 Newton meters, but is available only with a manual transmission. Hyundai also promises a whole bunch of first and segment features, which includes wireless charging, driver rear view monitor, leather wrapped gear knob, eco coating, emergency stop signal and more, but all of which will be revealed at the launch.
(2018) saw an explosion of scooters in the 125cc segment. The Honda Grazia, TVS Ntorq, Suzuki Bergman Street and the Aprilia SR125. Well, there were a lot of options, but one company was missing from action, and that was Yamaha Motor India. Well, not anymore though, because Yamaha is going all out for 2020 and has 2 scooters in the 125cc segment. In fact, it's so dedicated to that space that it's coming out of the 110cc segment. Yes, it will not sell 110cc scooters anymore, and now we have 2 new 125cc scooters, the Yamaha Fascino FI and the Yamaha RAZR FI. Both are 125cc scooters, and we are in Chennai to check out what they are all about. If you like the old Fascino, the 110cc version, you will also like what the 125cc has to offer. Well, this in fact is a cleaner design in general, and that you can immediately see that it still resembles the older one, but with a cleaner proportions. Now what you really get here is this nice look up front. The fake vents that were there earlier on the 110cc version are gone, and you get these nice chrome bars around the indicators. Well, the headlamp is also larger right now, and it's obviously chrome covered, something that's always been the case with the Fascino, and it's larger and a little more angular at the bottom as well, and that helps make a lasting impression of what the Fascino is without really doing away with the older design. And speaking of design, that's also the case when you come to the side profile of the Fascino. Well, this swoosh here, the light, nice elongated swoosh that you see on the older model still remains there, and it's the nice retro touch that always made the Fascino so popular in the first place. Again, very clever use of chrome all the way here. Maybe a lot of people might think it's a little too done, but for those looking at chrome and looking at a funky little scooter, the Fascino still fits that bill really, really well. Moving to the rear, you have this nice swoosh coming together, and with this V-shaped tail light that looks extremely well done. In fact, it's one of the high points of the scooter in terms of design, and that's something that a lot of buyers will think is really premium and a very stylish option in terms of what the Fascino has to offer. Well, when it comes to styling, again, what you see as a rider are these nice looking rear view mirrors, again covered on chrome, that fits the bill in terms of design on the Fascino. And the instrument cluster is very similar to the older version. In fact, it still remains analog, but you do get a few new bits like the eco mode and the side stand indicator, which is now a standard option for a value edition on the 125cc model. What you also get on the Fascino 125 Fi is a lot of features like auto start stop system, side stand indicator with a cutoff switch, a foldable hook over here, and a multifunction key, which means you can actually open the seat to access the under seat storage. What you don't get though is an external fuel filler, and that's something that most of the offerings in this segment have to offer right now. The Yamaha Fascino 125 Fi is powered by a new Blue Core 125cc engine that also gets fuel injection. It is BS6 compliant and makes about 8 bhp of power and 9.7 Newton meters of peak torque. It is mated to a CVT transmission as all in the segment, and is managed to offer good power to weight ratio. What really makes this special is the fact that it is only 99 kilos in terms of curb weight, and that makes it the lightest scooter in its class. Yamaha Motor India is going all out in the 125cc segment, and with the Fascino, it's really giving a good choice. That is because the pricing is so lucrative. Sales though will only begin in January. That's also when the production begins, and that's when you can see these scooters on the road.
The Jaguar XE was a long time coming. For years, we waited for a compact sedan from Jaguar, and then the XE finally gave us that in 2015. And true to the promise of being Jaguar, the XE gave us a dynamic, taut and very sporty sedan ready to challenge the benchmark BMW 3 Series. But while it did do that well on dynamics, its score on the luxury side of things fell short. But now with the facelift, the model year 2020 car is all set to change that. Before we get into those details, however, first the customary stuff. If it's a facelift, it's got to look kind of different, doesn't it?
So after making its debut globally in Geneva earlier in the year, the car is now ready for its India launch too. Now, as facelifts go, you do expect certain styling changes so that when you look at the car, you know that it is new and improved. And the big difference here in terms of what theme the design team was really going for, it's all about making the car look like it means business. And so the lights have gotten slimmer, and they're all LED, and that's why they've gotten slimmer, or that's how they've been allowed to. It's the same with the tail light treatment as well, and the grille's wider, the bumper feels wider too, and that exaggerated width, well, again, moving away from being a little upright to being wider, so the car looks more planted, more in keeping with its character of being a sports sedan.
Yes, the look works. It also makes the car look more premium. The larger front grille and the new feel Jaguar logo also add to that perceived sense of quality. The car is well finished and well built, and now that shows through. The car with us is the R Dynamic trim, so we won't be getting that. We would have the S and SE trims on the car, so no glossy black-edged grille or R Dynamic elements, but still the cars are looking more premium for sure.
Now, when the XE had first come out, nobody had a problem with how it looked. It was a pretty baby Jag. It drove phenomenally well. It was really the inside, the cabin, that was the big Achilles heel, and that's where Jaguar got a lot of stick. Lots of criticism in terms of just not looking the part of a luxury offering, and that's what it also had to be, remember. So what's been done on the inside is really what I think counts more than all the little changes that we've talked about on the outside, because it's a completely refreshed cabin. Every bit of material in here has been reworked, and that's both in terms of texture, color, trim and quality as well. And so you see that it's not as plasticky looking as it was. It looks a lot more refined, a lot more elegant, and in terms of the layout too, some of the tweaks on the dash make it look a little less heavy. You've also got a much wider touch screen over here in the middle, and the two dials and the panel for the climate control also looks kind of nice. It's updated. The rotary gear lever is gone, and so you've got, instead of that knob, now the sport shifter. You've also got a toggle switch now for the different drive modes rather than different buttons, so you don't have to take your eyes off the road. There's an improved head-up display, a little bit of a tweak on the virtual instrument cluster, and of course on the steering wheel too. So I have to say, the car looks a lot more swanky, a lot better put together, and a lot more appealing on the inside.
Yes, that virtual cluster and new interface on the InControl Touch Pro system is very slick. In other markets, the car gets Touch Pro Duo, meaning the lower console is also a touchscreen like in the Velar, etc. But India ain't getting that. Still, the single screen layout is also quite nice, and it doesn't deviate from the design on the layout with two screens. The rotary dial gear shift being replaced by the sporty shifter, we get that as being more in keeping with the car's character, but we are a bit torn on this. The rotary dial rising up when you would start the car was an aha moment for many, especially buyers stepping into Jaguar for the first time. But yeah, in the JLR universe, the shifter makes more sense on a car like the XE.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Well, just like they took all of that feedback on making the car more luxurious more seriously, Jaguar says they'd also listen to customers on the feedback on how the car drove, and that was an area where there was absolutely no complaint whatsoever. I tend to agree, because even though there are no mechanical changes and typically in updates you expect one, here I don't think one was really needed. So you've got both the petrol and the diesel continuing as is. The ride and handling also continues as is, and that's the part of the car that's always been fun, because it does live up to being a nice sporty sedan.
The petrol engine is fun, but much more it's the handling and road manners of the car that will impress you more. The numbers do look good, but yes, while we get the 2-litre 4-cylinder Ingenium only, other markets do get more and less powerful variants. We got to drive the more powerful 297 bhp output version of the same engine on the R Dynamic XE, and while it definitely drives better, we won't go too much into it since we won't be getting it anyway. The diesel will be the 2-litre Ingenium 2 with 178 bhp and 430 Nm of torque. Like the petrol, this too is rear-wheel drive only. Again, some markets do get an AWD option. The car is fairly well loaded in terms of driver aids and also gets torque vectoring for maximum control. It also still has the ASPC, or All Surface Progress Control cruise control, that monitors traction requirements and responds optimally. The car gets Eco, Comfort, Dynamic Rain, Ice, Snow driving modes. It's being assembled at JLR's Pune plant, and so pricing is reasonably competitive. The Jaguar XE's prices start at 44,98,000 rupees ex-showroom India for the S model. The SE is priced at 46,32,000. The prices for both petrol and diesel are the same across both variants. Of course, needless to say, both engines are BS6 compliant. The great news is that XE becomes a lot more relevant and worthy of its tag now of a premium sports sedan. The dynamics remain great and the cabin has caught up to the plan. This makes the car more appealing, and there's enough here for the Indian buyer too. The rear being relatively cramped when compared to the newer BMW 3 Series and even Audi 4 will be the big challenge for JLR in India, given most buyers in this segment remain largely chauffeur-driven. But from being out of the consideration set in many ways, the XE re-enters it in style. Now the onus is on JLR and its dealers to effectively take that message to buyers.
Now, in case you're wondering where I am in Dubai in the UAE, and with me is, of course, the flagship of the Q range from Audi. This is the all-new Q8. So I've teased it for you because, of course, we'll have it on the program next week. Something for you to look forward to. In fact, it's a special year-end episode, so you've got to tune in. Promise me you'll wear your seatbelts and join us next week. Bye-bye.